Hey, lovelies. So today I just wanted to talk about something that's a little bit more in depth, and this can be quite triggering for some people. So just a little bit of a warning there for you. So this is about trauma bonding. So where do we start with this? Trauma bonding is where we are generally pulled towards generally narcissists, and it's quite tricky to know who the narcissists are because they are very, very good at what they do. They are very charming. And the main thing is they never think that they're in the wrong. So you cannot reason with a narcissist. It's not possible. I've tried it, doesn't work. But there are different forms of narcissism. So I thought that narcissists used to just be like, put you down all the time, and then they'd pick you back up and they'd, make you feel good. So I've got hay fever at the moment. They'd make you feel good and they make you feel loved, then they put you down again, and the pattern just repeats and repeats and repeats and repeats. You get sucked into it easily. Excuse me. Hay fever. So it's very, very easy to get sucked into that. But there's more to this than people know. So my personal experience recently, I've dealt with narcissists in the past, and I thought that it was just that. They put you down, they gaslight you. And by gaslighting, I mean that they say, oh, you're so emotional, you're being paranoid, etc., etc. We've all been through it, I think, at some point or another in our lives. So that's what you think would be the typical narcissist. Recently, I have come across a narcissist who I was only with for 10 months, and then he held the strings. He was the puppet master for another 2 years after that. And I'm not a stupid person, but he managed to do it. And he managed to do that by constant compliments, constant looking after me. I'd do anything for you. I'm going to be here for the rest of your life. You're my best friend. I've never spoken to my exes before, but you're the only person I want to speak to. You're just my best friend. And he would literally message me, or we would message each other like 50 to 70 times a day. We'd be on the phone all the time. We'd sleep on video call every night if he wasn't at mine. That's narcissism. So he didn't want to be in a relationship because he was a sex addict. So he didn't want to be in a relationship, so he couldn't call it that. But he kept me there the whole time. That, I don't know what the correct terminology is, but that to me is a closet narcissist. So it's not your average narcissist. So what I'm going to do is take you through what the narcissists do and what the trauma bonding is. So trauma bonding is when we just get so attached to this person. It's codependency as well. So we get so attached to this person, they're giving us what they think we need. We think we're getting what we need from them. We're not at all. But they have taken the time to charm us and everything in the beginning. And so now we're in a state where our self-esteem has come lower and lower and lower. And now we're like, well, what do I do now? And this can't just be a partner. It can be a relative. It can be a mother, a father. It can even be an older, sibling. It can be a son or daughter. It can be anybody, a work colleague, anything. So there are signs that we can look out for. But the main thing is to know that this isn't our fault. So what I want to explain to you first of all is that there are certain scientific or chemical things that go on in our brain when this happens. So when we are feeling that love, there's a chemical that gets released in our brain, which is called oxytocin. And that is sometimes called, what's the word? Related to as the emotion or the chemical of love. So we feel that. So then we've also got the stress component of it, which is cortisol. So we've got this cocktail of chemicals going on in our brains. So, I mean, go to a bar, buy a cocktail. You don't know what you want. You don't know what you want in the cocktail, but it makes you feel good. And that's what happens in this situation. So basically, when people are saying, why can't this person just leave this person? Why can't they just, be strong and just back off? It's not actually as simple as just the emotional side of things. We all like to think that we're strong enough to just walk away. I wasn't strong enough, and I'm a strong person. I wasn't strong enough to walk away. And then now that I've put more research into this and realized about the chemical side of things that go on in your brain, I'm like, oh, that makes me feel so much better. So when I did a lot of research into this, it got rid of a lot of the guilt and the shame for me. So regardless of what other people think and how I was dealing with the situation, why I was putting up with the situation, now I know that there's a very good reason why I was dealing with that situation. The shame and the guilt has gone. The attachment has gone. The cord that was holding us together has gone. It's all gone. So there is hope. Once I go through these signs with you, you will feel hope. This is going to be way too long of a video for me to be able to go through the whole lot, because like I said, it's so in depth. So I'm going to go through the 6 signs of trauma, or trauma bonding, sorry. So the first sign is that if you're not with that person anymore, you are hoping that that person is going to come back. There is this part in your heart that is hoping that this person is going to come back, or surely they're going to realize, I'm the person for them, because that's how much they put it in your head. They put these thoughts in your head that, oh my God, you're this, you're that, you're that. No, it's bullshit. Sorry, it's bullshit. It doesn't happen like that. And I'm not talking from personal experience. I'm talking from vast experience from my clients, etc., etc. So that's the first sign. If you're wanting for them to come back and are holding that space for them to come back, you're stuck in a trauma bond, which you need to get out of. So number 2, they might come back and be like, oh my God, I've missed you so much. And this could be after a week, it could be after 4 months, it could be after a year. It doesn't matter. They can come back if they failed somewhere else and they've effed up another relationship because of their narcissistic traits and the way that they try and bring people into that trauma bond situation, and they've failed. Guess who they're going to come running back to? The last person that they were with. That's what's going to happen. So if you even have that thought in your head that, oh, I think he might have changed, I think this is going to be good this time, you're trapped in the trauma bond. Okay, so that's another sign. So excuse me for looking down, I'm just making sure I get this all right. So number 3, you find yourself making excuses for the narcissist, and they are narcissists. You find yourself making excuses for them. Oh, but they've been through this, they've been through that kind of trauma, they've been through that kind of trauma. What about the trauma that you've been through? Does that matter in their lives? Where does that come into their lives? And where do they take care of you in that? They don't. They just take care of themselves. So you just need to be like, no, like, you're not going to do this, like this isn't going to happen, nice try, but no. But if you do feel like, oh no, he's been through this, you're stuck in the trauma bond. Okay, you need to get out of it. So number 4, and this is a very, very serious one and very, very triggering for me, I guess, because I'm an empath. So feeling energetically or spiritually entwined or aligned with that person, and you're like, oh, there's no way that this, we're meant to be together. Sorry. We're meant to be together, like this is who I'm meant to be with. Like, how can we be so energetically aligned and so intertwined? Like, surely he's going to realize and come back, or she's going to realize and come back. Like, surely that's going to happen. Nope. That's another sign of trauma bond, unfortunately. And that was my major one. I really felt that I was being a spiritual person. I felt like I was with him in past lives, and I felt like we were meant to be together, and that at some point he was going to get over his addiction and we would be together again. It was never going to happen. I just didn't want to face that fact. And if I'd have faced it sooner, I would have got on with my life a lot sooner. Okay, so number 5, if you still spend a lot of time thinking of them, whether you be apart or together, or whether you've been split up for 6 months, or whether you've been split up for 2 years or 3, 4, 5 years, and you still can't stop thinking about that person, guess what? You're stuck in the trauma bonds. Okay, so we're going to get into it on the second video of how we're going to get rid of this, so don't worry. And I'll put the presentation of this one at the bottom in the link. I'll share the link underneath this. And 6, their reality becomes your reality. So whatever they're telling you, you're believing it. Might not be the case, and I hope it's not. But sometimes their reality becomes your reality. And you're like, oh yeah, but they're going through this, and etc., etc. It's going back to that place of making excuses, and it's just like, ugh. Now that I've come through the other side of it, I'm starting to see it, and I'm like, oh, that's so frustrating. But their reality becomes your reality. So whatever they're going through, you, especially as an empath, if you're an empath, you're like, oh my God, yeah, but they're going through this. Who cares? You've got to put yourself first. You have to come first. Okay, so excuse you 1 second. I'm just going to look down again. So there's trick-or-treaters going past. So sorry about the dogs barking. So the main thing that I want to say is, and it's my favorite saying, and it's on my hand, and you might have seen it in past videos: this too shall pass. This too shall pass. It always does. If we allow ourselves to keep those doors open to the people that are trying to hold on to us, even though they're doing whatever the fuck they want in their life, they can do whatever they want in their life, but they keep us suppressed, and you can't even make your own kind of decisions of, do you know what, I really want to just go on a holiday. Not that we can really do that at the moment, but really just want to go on a holiday, but what would he think, or what would she think? Just, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. When you're holding the door open for them to come back into your life whenever they want, you're closing doors on 10 other people or situations that could make your life better. So close the door. Close the door. And I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to show you how to, in the next video, how to cut cords, how to close the door on people, how to kind of, you know, survive that, because it's easier said than done. It's not easy. It's not easy. It's taken me 2 flipping years and it's not easy. So the second video, I'm going to take you guys through that, and I hope that's going to be helpful. But remember, this too shall pass. Everything does, whether it's good or bad, this too shall pass. Okay. So I'm going to do another video tomorrow, and I hope that was useful. And if it was, please like and subscribe. And I'm Julie Joel from Lotus Life Solutions, and I will have a lot more info for you tomorrow. That was a lot to take in one go, so I don't want to push it too much. But thank you so much for listening. If you were listening, I appreciate it. Thank you. Love to you all.